Hi, welcome to day 10 of the Dry Jam Plan. Today, I want to talk about why we drink. You've probably never questioned it, or you probably just think that you pick up because you've had a long day and it's just the thing to do. We live in a society where alcohol is completely acceptable. Majority of people do it. Maybe we've been brought up in an environment where, our parents drank, our peers drank, our work colleagues drink, and it's just the acceptable thing to do. But maybe the people that you hang around with, maybe they look as if they can moderate quite well. They don't have any issues around alcohol. They can just have one and then leave, uh, you know, leave the pub or just go on to soft drinks. Maybe you don't know what their relationship is like really at home. And I think we have this perception around our drinking, and there's such a stigma around drinking too much. But what is too much? Alcohol affects us in all different ways, and it really depends on our gender, our weight, how tall we are, how quickly we can process alcohol through the enzyme in our liver, which is, everybody has different levels of different enzymes. So we need to sort of look at why we drink. What is it about drinking that we are attracted to? What do we believe around drinking? What are our beliefs? And as I said, it really does depend on your background around drinking and what you've seen others do. So for me, I used it to relax and de-stress at the end of the day. So do you use it to relax and de-stress at the end of the day? Do you use it for a bit of a confidence boost before you go out, maybe? Maybe you use it for sleep. Maybe you self-medicate and use it for pain. Maybe you've got a heightened emotional state that you're in at the minute because maybe you're going through a time of grief. Maybe there's been some trauma. We use alcohol for lots of different reasons. So what I want you to do is I want you to sort of think about why you turn to alcohol. What is it that makes you pick that drink up? Because awareness is absolute key when it comes to looking at our drinking patterns. And if you're wanting to change your drinking behavior and your patterns moving forward from dry January into February, then maybe examining the reasons why you drink. So say, for instance, you drink to relax and de-stress at the end of the day, like I did. During my training, my coach training, we were encouraged to really look deep down at what alcohol did to our bodies and our brains. And when you drink alcohol, the alcohol, which is actually ethanol, which is a poisonous substance, which we actually find in petrol, that has a detrimental effect to us and our bodies and how our body processes it. So when we drink, our body recognizes it as a toxin and it releases cortisol, which is a stress hormone, amongst other chemicals it releases too. So what this cortisol does is it is a stimulant, whereas alcohol is a depressant, which is why we use it really to numb out and dull down. Well, I did that stress feeling and to relax and switch off, which it does initially do that. It numbs you. But that cortisol stays in your system so much longer than the alcohol does, because what happens is your body wants to get rid of the alcohol. So the liver processes it through an enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase, and that breaks it down into something called acetaldehyde. Now, acetaldehyde is something that's quite toxic. It's even more toxic than the ethanol, the alcohol. and that sits in our liver until another enzyme breaks it down into something called acetate. And acetate is something that we can actually eliminate from our bodies through peeing it out, sweating, breathing, and that's how we dissipate the alcohol from our bodies. But thinking about the cortisol, that sticks around much longer. So when you finish your last drink of the evening, so say it's, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night and you're going off to bed, as soon as you stop drinking, your alcohol levels start dropping. But the cortisol that was released is still hanging around in your system. And that is why you often get that 3-4 a.m. wake up, because your blood alcohol levels have dropped. The liver has processed all the alcohol, and you're left with that cortisol, and that stimulant is still racing around. It doesn't give you a good night's sleep, and often a lot of clients tell me that they feel quite anxious in the middle of the night, and they also feel quite anxious the following day from the drink from the previous night. But you won't join the dots up, you see. So thinking about why you drink, if you are somebody that actually drinks to de-stress, it's actually making your stress worse and making you more anxious. So do question during dry January why it is you drink and what it is that you're expecting that drink to do, because what we think it does and what it actually does are two different things completely. So it's great during the months to actually take a reset, give your liver a rest, and during that time really think hard about why you use alcohol and what happens the following day. Is it really worth it? You know, we get that 20-minute buzz, don't we, from alcohol, but we never actually get that buzz back, because alcohol has a need for itself. So once you have one, it affects the executive part of our brain, which is the decision-making part, is in that part of our brain. And that's why it's hard to moderate, because once we've had one, we generally want another one and another one and another one. And then before we know it, you know, a bottle of wine's gone, we might be reaching for another bottle, and then we're feeling like poop in the morning. So really do become aware of why you drink and what it is. Maybe you like the taste. Maybe it does give you that confidence. But again, that's, you know, another thing. We lose our inhibitions when we drink, and it might make you feel confident to start with, but towards the end of the night, I mean, how many things have you seen on social media of drunk people doing very embarrassing things? So what does that do to your confidence, you know, if you let yourself go too much and lose your inhibitions? So we think it gives us one thing, but it totally does another thing. So that's just food for thought today for you. And of course, if you've got any questions, you know, send me an email. So take care until tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.